Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. Today's video is going to be my eyeshadow palettes that I went back to in December. Welcome to everybody watching today's video. Thank you so very much for joining me. This video is a little bit belated because I usually do these within the given month, but because I was doing my end of year favorites, I ran out of time and I couldn't do this look back at some older eyeshadow palettes and some looks that I did with all of these. So I show you in my Shop My Stash at the start of every month what palettes will go into this video. And today I'm showing you talking about my experiences going back to these palettes and showing you all the looks as well. And today is my first video back in the new year. So happy 2024, everyone. I hope you had a good end of the year closure kind of thing. And here's to a new year with new things that await us. I'm very excited for the new year, and I hope you are too. I've got lots more content coming your way. And in case you're new here and you've never seen one of my videos, then it may be good to know that my name is Maaike, that I live in the Netherlands. I have fair skin with a cool to neutral undertone, and this greatly influences how I feel about makeup. I have been reviewing makeup for more than a decade. I love eyeshadow palettes as a secretrice and getting the use out of my makeup. So if that's something you're interested in as well, then I hope you'd like to consider subscribing. The entire spiel here was to get a little bit of use out of older palettes, like I mentioned. That's all of these. I actually rolled in an extra one that I forgot to show you in my Shop My Stash, but as the month was going along, I was like, wait, where did that palette go? And I was like, oh, I forgot to show them because I forgot to select it when I did my Shop My Stash. But also to get more use out of some of my Clionadh singles. So these are the Clionadh Stained Glass shadows that I have in my possession. I've got a couple of the bejeweled ones, like the ones they came out with first, but my favorites are more so within the mid-tone section. So when they came out with more of those, I placed an order for more of these over the summertime when they did a sale and they did a giant restock. That to me is the only way I can shop Clionadh, but I wanted to make sure that I went back to some of these and get use out of some of these newer shades. So what I ended up doing is, save for when I use this palette, every single other palette that's here, I made sure to rope in one of these guys, one of the stained glass shadows from Clionadh. So I hope I still remember. I know which one's in the palette, but I don't know if I still know the names, but I'm sure I do. I'm sure I do. So I remember at the start of the month, once I had reviewed, done all the looks for my eyeshadow palette review in December, I really wanted to get more use out of some of my Colourpop palettes. So the Making Mauves and the That's Taupe. The That's Taupe is still in the original color story. The Making Mauves I rearranged. And to my knowledge, I hadn't really gone back to this one ever since I rearranged it. So here is what my rearranged Making Mauves looks like. For those of you who are unfamiliar, this is what the That's Taupe looks like up close. So here you can see them side by side. And I did a look with each one of these individually. So I did the Making Mauves one. And then as far as I remember, I'm sure it's this one, I ended up going for this shade here, which is called Cobblestone, which is this like pewtery sort of purple leaning shade. And then when I used the That's Taupe, I went in with this shade up here, which is Statue Garden. I remember using that one. So those were very successful. I do really enjoy the Colourpop formula, which is why I have quite a few of their palettes. I just feel that Colourpop can be really inconsistent. These are still two of my favorites, but I think I have another mauve tone leaning palette with Colourpop shades that I've also reorganized. Like, I had 4 different palettes and I condensed it down to 2 at the time. And I think it's just time to see if I can condense it down even further come declutter time. I have so many of these reorganized Colourpop color stories. And for instance, I have a bunch of the green ones. And if I think of what those color stories do for me and other green toned color stories I have in my collection by other brands, then I think I like some of the other ones by the other brands as well. So I think come March, when I do my decluttering videos, I'm gonna have to be very critical of what Colourpop palettes to keep and what I'm going to get rid of. I think these might stay, but I have tried the Deja Brew from Colourpop this year, and I feel it's like a lighter version of the That's Taupe. So now that I have both of those, I'm not necessarily going to be sure that the That's Taupe is going to stay in its original color story anymore either. There are definitely a couple of shades in the That's Taupe that are just a little bit superfluous. Like my nail polish is chipped, I do apologize. But I don't, like, these three mattes are just a little bit too similar. So, and maybe like some of these shimmers are really nice, but I don't feel they are all taupe leaning. So maybe I could make this more taupe, a little bit more neutral than what it is, pulling in some of the shades from the Deja Brew, because I like that one a lot too. And then with the Making Mauves, like I mentioned, I have to figure out whether I just want to keep this one and also the other one, or whether I want to rearrange them yet again. I'm not sure yet. I do really like these shades. The looks I did with these, I was very happy with, and I was happy I was able to like pull in some multichromes within these more neutral color stories, because I feel that these newer multichromes that I got from Clionadh, they have a more neutral base to them, so they're not as intense as what I'm wearing on my eyes today. I'm not sure if you can see, but I'm wearing one of the more jewel toned multichromes today. And those I always find a little too intense. So I love that they're doing things with like a neutral to tan base. So you still get the flip, but it works really well with neutral color stories, which I love, because I love me an M-top neutral. That's my vibe. Then I think, I'm not sure if this was the next look I did, but I know I did a look also with my Kaleids and Angelica Nyqvist's Club Nebula palette. This was the first time that I think Angelica collabed with any brand, and this is still, till this day, one of the best color stories in my makeup collection. You just get so many different colors, but it's more grungy leaning, I feel, but you get some really good neutrals as well. So this is just a palette that can do it all. My favorite row is this plum row. I love this like neutrally shade and then that plum. So that's what I went with. I used those to sort of set up the look. And then for my Clionadh palette, I used the shade that's right in between Cobblestone and Statue Garden. It's right here. Am I ready? Yeah, I'm pointing at the right one. This is Royal Plum, which is, again, like all three of these, like Cobblestone, Statue Garden, Royal Plum, they all have a purpley leaning sort of flip, but then they have different shifts. So Cobblestone has more of a neutral to like a plum to a pink to a peach. Royal Plum is like, it has a little bit of a green running through it. And then Statue Garden is more of like a pink to green. Like it has a very grungy undertone, which I just love. I just really, really adore. And then, if I'm not mistaken, was it with this one? I'm sure. Oh, I'm saying it wrong. No, when I did the purpley look, I didn't use Royal Plum. I used it with another palette. I actually used Redox right here at the bottom. Oh, let me hold this up closer so you can see. So here, right here is Redox, which is, it's another purple. I have a lot of purple shifting shades because I like that. No, I used Royal Plum together with the Mary Jane. Together with the Mary Jane, because one of you was saying how you love this grungy, cooler toned leaning color story from Melt with multichromes, and I had never tried that, and you were absolutely right. I did stick to some of the lighter shades in here to really set it up, because this brown here is perfect as a crease shade for me. So that's what I'm also wearing as a crease shade today. And then the Royal Plum shade was with this, and of course I had to use my original favorite palette for using with multichromes, which is the Subculture from ABH. I still have this. I still love mine. This is on my eyes today, but I already did a look with this previously. And I just think this is stunning. It just always lacked shimmers, because the shimmers in here aren't great. They're just not the best. The mattes, though, are stunning, and we get a lot. And we get a lot of grungy tones. So the look I originally did was with the Mercury shade right here. And then I think one of these two yellow tones to warm it up a little bit. And then I used a shade I was super excited for from Clionadh. I used Mural, which is right here. This is Mural, which is like a green, like a softer green to yellow, peach sort of shifting thing. It's really special, and I felt great wearing that look. But I have both of these palettes on my eyes with Gargoyle from Clionadh. So I'm using that neutral brown that I love in the crease from the Mary Jane. And then I had to do a look with my favorite shade from the ABH palette, which is Axis, which is this teal right here. So I used the Melt shade in the crease. Then I just used the Axis shade in the inner corner to sort of like the outer corner, I should say, to set it up. And then I used Gargoyle, which is this shade right here, right there, which is like blue, green, teal shifting multichrome with like a very black base. So it makes for a very smoky, intense look. I do have to say that when it comes to like seeing the shifts on your eyes, these more intense multichromes just show up a lot better. But I always feel I can only use the one, which is why I have so many light things, because a lot of these like lighter things from Clionadh, I love topping over mattes or other shimmers to really transform any look. A lot of their glitter iridescent shades are perfect for that, and I love it. And then they just have all of these midtones, which I'd love to get some more. I think I have space for another 13 shades. I cannot just, like, I can only fit one more regular row like this, but I know I can fit 5 of them if I tilt them slightly. If I turn them 90 degrees, I can fit 5 of them here, and I figured out that I can fit 2 more rows if I have 5 on a row, and then I have those 3 spaces left. So 13 more Clionadh shades that I have space for in my palette. Maybe it happens in 2024. Maybe it happens later. Like I mentioned, the only way I can shop Clionadh is if they do a full restock, and the sort of rolling restock, which they have been doing, I just know is useless for me. But yeah, this month was very successful for sure. All of these palettes I still love and adore, and I'm glad I set myself the task of going back to them and realizing once more why I love all of them. And the same goes for the final palette that I haven't chatted about with you yet. This is the Michelou Cosmetics, the Fawn palette. And this Michelou was a UK-based indie brand that seemed, well, I wouldn't call them shady per se. It's more that the website didn't seem very reliable. Their customer service wasn't the best. I personally never had any issues with them, so I really like the 2 palettes I have, but I haven't heard anybody talking about this brand in years. But I still like the 2 palettes I have, and in terms of a very high shine metallic shimmer that I just wanted to go back to because I knew my Christmas holiday look that I wanted to use for my end of year favorite series was going to be with this palette and a red lip. I just knew that that was going to be it. So that was the vision, and that's exactly what I did. So here's what the color story looks like. I have compared this to the Nebula side by side. It really is that. It's like Nebula side by side, but a little bit more curated. I really enjoy the row with the grays that we get over here. So this gray was in my crease when I filmed my end of year favorites, and then I used Water Reflections. What else? This is the best shade in the palette. All over my lid. This white, which is a duochrome to a pink, was in the inner corner, and then I just used a little bit of one of these darker browns, probably the matte right here, that worked really well as a liner. So that's all I did. I really didn't do much, and I just love it. And it has some really stunning other shades, like these peachy things. I don't really reach for a lot of the reddish tones that it has, but it just has all the right undertones, and I love how we get a dark matte brown as well as a shimmer brown, because a lot of palettes don't do that. So love this still for a neutral palette. It's no longer available. I know you can no longer buy this, but I really still enjoy mine, and I still enjoyed the look that came out of this when I use it again. So yes, this was a very, very successful month. I have fallen head over heels in love again with my Clionadh eyeshadows. I just think these are great. I just really, really enjoy these Clionadh eyeshadows. They are just incredibly pretty, and I just think that Clionadh did a really good job. So I'm really glad I picked up the ones that I did. I'm not sure I've used all of the new shades yet. I still need to get some more use out of some of these down here. I kind of skipped this entire row with some more of the green tones, but those are really stunning as well. So if I need to make another look sometime, then I will do that. I think that this is a good way I have found to also roll in perhaps some singles to do this eyeshadow palette revisited series, but then like select some fun shimmers for my singles to sort of have it as complementary shades to get some more use out of my singles collection as well. So I think moving forward in 2024, I'm just going to be making myself like a nice little 6-pan of like these kind of shades, be it multichromes, be it other shimmers from my collection that I just want to get more use out of, because I have a lot of shimmer eyeshadow also in my singles. And then that way I can sort of make the best of it, in the best of both worlds, you could say. So I definitely, now that I have done this, I've sort of inspired myself to do it like that. So yeah, those are all of the eyeshadow palettes I went back to in December 2023. This is definitely a series that you can look forward to me continuing in the new year, because I really find it important that we not only use the new and chase all the new bits, but that we also try to get the use out of the products we already have and love in our collections. This roundup was just a incredible love fest for me. Like every single palette that was in this roundup are all palettes I love so much. And that's why I just knew, I just knew that this was gonna work out. And I've used multichromes with my Subculture before, and it's just made me realize yet again how incredibly good that palette is. So thank you so very much for joining me today. Thumbs up this video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more by me. I make several videos every single week on this channel. I have lots of other things coming your way. I'm starting a couple of new series that are going to be happening monthly in 2024 on the channel. So all of those are going to get started this month. So I hope you'd like to stay tuned. And then I really hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.